ॐ ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसंन्यासयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच यतः प्रवृत्तिर्भूतानां येन सर्वमिदं ततं स्वकर्मणा तमभ्यर्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दति मानवः। श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मोत्स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वभावनियतं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्। सहजं कर्म कौन्तेय सदोषमपि न त्यजेत्। सर्वारम्भा हि दोषेण धूमेनाग्निरिवावृताः। असक्तबुद्धि सर्वत्र जितात्मा विगतस्पृहः नैष्कर्म्य सिद्धिं परमां सन्न्यासेनाधिगच्छति। सिद्धिं प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्म तथाप्नोति निबोध मे। समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा बुद्ध्या विशुद्धया युक्तो धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च शब्दादीन् विषयान् त्यक्त्वा रागद्वेषौ व्युदस्य च विविक्तसेवी विविक्तसेवी लघ्वाशी यतवाक्कायमानसः ध्यानयोगपरो नित्यं वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्ममः शान्तो ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते। ब्रह्मभूतः प्रसन्नात्मा न शोचति न काङ्क्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्तिं लभते परां। भक्त्या मामभिजानाति यावान्यश्चास्मि तत्त्वतः ततो मां तत्त्वतो ज्ञात्वा विशते तदनन्तरम्। सर्वकर्माण्यपि सदा कुर्वाणो मव्यपाश्रयः मत्प्रसादादवाप्नोति शाश्वतं पदमव्ययम्। चेतसा सर्वकर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परः बुद्धियोगमुपाश्रित्य मच्चित्तः सततं भव। मच्चित्तः सर्वदुर्गाणि मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि। अथ चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान् न श्रोष्यसि विनङ्क्ष्यसि यदहङ्कारमाश्रित्य न योत्स्य इति मन्यसे मिथ्यैष व्यवसायस्ते प्रकृतिस्त्वां नियोक्ष्यति स्वभावजेन कौन्तेय निबद्धस्वेन कर्मणा कर्तुं नेच्छसि यन्मोहात् करिष्यस्य वशोऽपि तत् तत्सत् सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु. So we were looking at the verse 55. I think it is the end part. I will just chant the verse and its tatparyam. Bhaktya mamabhijanati yavan yashasmi tattvatah tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. By bhakti, knowledge, he Brahmabhutaha knows me properly as to how much I am and who I am in reality. Thereafter, knowing me in reality, he enters me soon after that knowing. By bhakti, in the form of knowledge, he knows me in reality. What is entry into the Lord? Knowing and entering are not two different things. To say one knows Brahman by Jnana Nishtha is contradictory and objection. Jnana Nishtha is not repetition but the ultimate certainty of knowledge. So this we were looking at, that through Jnana Abhyasa and Jnana Nishtha we can immediately get to the self. And we remember the Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutva, all the values and attitudes that we have seen, which may obstruct the knowledge if they are not there. So we have to have them. And if there is lacking anywhere, if there is some doubt, then through Manana, Nididhyasana, we can have that Jnana Abhyasa and Jnana Nishtha. It will lead to Jnana Nishtha. So, till that we had done. Do you want me to repeat anything in this? I think this also we had. We had seen, right? Things to pay attention to in order to gain Jnana Nishtha. Bhagwan had given the roadmap also, how to get that Jnana Nishtha.
Hari Om Belaji, we can, I think, start from this is the last heading, no? Things to pay attention in order to gain Gyan Nishtha. This is the last.
Correct. So before that, anyone, I mean, you want me to repeat anything or I should start from here? Things to pay attention to? I think I'll start from here. Till here, I think we had done the Manana also, Jnana Nishtha and Jnana Abhyasa.
Last paragraph you can means read once.
Yeah, okay. Jnana Nishtha is removal of the obstructions and enjoying Jnana Phala. If it is knowledge, why not just say Jnana? Why Jnana Nishtha? The word Jnana is adequate. But we have to use these extra words like Jnana Nishtha and Jnana Abhyasa because due to obstructions, knowledge does not necessarily take place by merely exposing oneself to the teaching. Yeah, those obstructions are lack of Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Titiksha, Viveka, Vairagya. Please try to recall them all, okay? So they do not take, knowledge does not take place in presence of them. When the means of knowledge is there and the thing to be known is available, knowledge should transpire. Why does it not transpire? When I say you are Brahman, the one who is addressed should see it like daylight. But then one does not, or one sees and does not see. What does it mean? There is a problem which we cannot simply ignore. We have to recognize the problem and address it by examining our attitudes and values, by living a prayerful life, by gaining a mastery over the ways of thinking, and by spending time in contemplation. All these are necessary for gaining what is called Jnana Nishtha. There seems to be a condition where Jnana is there, but at the same time, one is not completely free. After an adequate exposure to the teaching, you can never say, I don't know that I am Brahman, or I'm not sure if I'm Brahman. Yet you cannot say, I am Brahman. This is why we have the expressions like Jnana, knowledge, and Jnana Nishtha, knowledge free from obstructions. This situation has been there for everyone. It is an age old problem. That is why so much is said about prayer, values, attitudes, etc. Prayer and a prayerful attitude in all your activities are the most important factors. So Shankara mentions them here. Another one is sannyasa, also called Jnana Nishtha. Now the word indicating a lifestyle wherein the person does nothing else except pursue knowledge. So the tools are also given for achieving that Jnana Nishtha by living a prayerful life with dharma.
Now the lifestyle
And
is described, I think, no? Lifestyle wherein the person does nothing else except pursue knowledge. So the
yeah,
sannyas is lifestyle. Okay.
yeah, Swamiji is here is trying to explain, although we have knowledge, but still why we are not able to say clearly that I am Brahman, because there are obstructions. Obstructions are all those lack of Shama,
Mm.
Dhamma, Viveka, Vairagya. And for that, removing those obstructions, we have to have the life of prayer, prayerful attitude. And if there is doubt, then we can have the Jnana, the Manana and Nididhyasana.
Means first one was the
Yeah, here only the knowledge, it is the additional word about Gnana Nishtha and Gnana Abhyasa. Why they are added? Because if it is not there, then there will be always those obstructions. And the life of Raga Dvesha will always obstruct, and it will always have that Shobhana
Doubt.
Dhyasa,
Yeah.
doubts that I am not complete, I am lacking this.
Am I Brahman? I am not Brahman. Like that.
Yeah, there will be doubts of about everything.
Like we read this knowledge, we are reading this knowledge, but until unless it is not transpiring, then it is of no use. Uh, we are just reading it, and if it is not getting in our lives, then it is like it is not Gyan Nishtha then. It's only a Gyan we are having. So it is
Only Jnana,
like,
correct.
That
yeah, so
certainty should be there. Huh.
yeah, so we by how we will have that nishtha is when we recognize the problems, address it by examining our own attitudes and our values of life. And living a prayerful life means that you uh, offering everything to Lord and removing that doership and whatever qualities we have, thinking them that they are not ours. It is not my quality. It is he who has given this body with these attributes, these traits, and I'm doing this work in context with the dharma, and offering it without any doership. So that would be a living a prayerful life. And
Yeah,
then by
yajna
gaining a
bhava.
mastery over the ways of thinking and uh, spending time in contemplation, the nidhi dhyasnam happening every time. It's not a particular time, it should be happening all the time. Like
Moment to
how we
moment.
read about the sannyasi, no, he is always in contemplation because he has only one goal. So he's always remaining in those thoughts only. Nothing else interests him. So this is how we should like follow, though we are the family persons, but whatever in time and whatever, like you have to basically you have to again and again uh, remember uh, this knowledge and then try to live whenever, like you, it is just like the mantra we take and we do our activities, we forget, then again we start. So it is like similarly that tampura example, that it should be going on. So this is how that gyan nishtha will happen. This is what I understood out
Very
of.
beautifully summarized. Very nice. Very beautifully summarized every point. Yeah.
Because in this last paragraph, no, Swamiji has written, prayer and a prayerful attitude in all your activities are the most important factors. So it is your values, your attitudes, your uh, this uh, following that dharma, doing every activity in accordance with dharma. So basically, we have to live with a very, very, very alert mind.
Correct.
Alertness is alertness and discipline, of course.
Awakened mind.
Yeah, and that awareness, I think, happens when you do your uh, regular sadhanas and that seva and this knowledge. When all these things happen, that awareness naturally it increases as it has increased over a period of time. from before what we were and now what our thought processes are. So it is that shift which has happened in each of us. I think we are like experiencing some changes there. We have not become Gyananistha, but we have something has changed inside.
For good, yes.
We will.
Yeah, we will. Following
Then
this
that
is like very,
samatva bhava, once it comes,
yeah.
no? That samatva
Yeah, that
bhava.
will also come. That samatva bhav hasn't seeped in so much. It is better than before, but it is still, we have to work there. That when that some bhav will happen, no, then our consciousness will merge with his consciousness. So there is no difference
Correct.
between like my small I, and that higher consciousness. That distance will not be there, and that is what is. That is why when Guruji do that puja, he offers flowers on himself. It is because he experienced it. It is his consciousness and the higher, they are the same. It is no difference. And like that happiness, it is seen on the face. It is bubbling out, like it's all pervading.
Yeah, on all those Sadgurus, all. If you see Swami
Everyone.
Tejomayanandji, that compassion, their eyes are like that karunya. You feel looking at their eyes. They are
Yeah.
so much compassionate.
They say, na, eyes are the darpan of the Atma.
Correct.
Your expression of
And
eyes. Yeah.
and that karunya only brings the Lord, like Narsi Mehta or Eknath, Sant Eknath. They were so compassionate that through in those untouchables' house also they used to go and eat, and then they were thrown out of their community. But Bhagwan came in their rupa, Narsim Rupa or Sant Eknath, to protect their bhaktas. He had to come. So when you have that samatva bhavana, no, when you live that life of yajna bhav, whatever you do it as a worship to him only. Then he has no choice but to come. Very nice, very beautifully summarized, Dr. Savita. Thank you. Viveka Vairagya. Sannyasa here doesn't mean here we just have to remind ourselves. It is not just wearing orange through, but having those Viveka Vairagya. Even living within the Grihast, being a Grihasti also, you can live a life of sannyasa. Shall I read ahead? I think this also we had seen. I will quickly browse through. Things to pay attention to in order to gain Jnana Nishtha. By the practice of contemplation, nididhyasana, and developing dispassion, vairagya, through inquiry, a cheerful disposition of the mind is slowly gained. Because of that, there is clarity of the knowledge I am Brahman. In this, the notion of division between the individual and the Lord disappears. To appreciate this, first you have to understand that Ishvara is both the material and the efficient cause of the creation. And therefore, the entire creation is Ishvara. Knowing that I am Ishvara who is this entire world means the entire world of name and form is non-separate from myself. And the Lord is non-separate from myself because the essential nature of the Jiva is consciousness, Chaitanya Atma, which is non-dual. That is the whole vision, the vision of the whole. The resolution of the difference between Ishvara and me amounts to my being everything. There is nothing that is separate from me. Finally, he has no more doubt. This is the bhakti that is talked about here, otherwise called Jnana Nishtha knowledge. The Shastra that enjoins a life of renunciation becomes meaningful only when this life of Jnana Nishtha lifestyle leading to Jnana Nishtha knowledge without any obstructions is the ultimate end. If that is understood, you can meaningfully give up all karma and pursue knowledge. Otherwise, you cannot give up karma, but you can give up karma phala like heaven, etc., and pursue knowledge as a karma yogi. Either way, you can get moksha. To give up all karma, one must be free from the desire for security, artha, pleasure, kama, and a better lot later, dharma. That implies vairagya. And without it, though I may give up the pursuits, the desires will persist and will obstruct my pursuit. Desires are never successfully given up. One grows out of them through an inquiry, vichara, resulting in dispassion, vairagya. I repeat this last line. Desires are never successfully given up. One grows out of them through an inquiry, vichara, resulting in dispassion, vairagya. Every one of us has grown out of a few desires in our lives. To understand what real renunciation is, look at your attitude towards objects that you have grown out of, such as balloons. Even if you would like to have one, it is not a binding desire. If you get it, you will enjoy it. But if you do not get it, you are not going to become unhappy. Nor will you be upset if you get it and it bursts. With reference to balloons, we all have vairagya. We do not go after them, nor are we frightened of getting them. This is called sannyasa. But when you were a child, you did not have the same attitude. That means we grow up to become a sannyasi. If you can reduce everything to the status of balloons, you are the sannyasi that is talked about here. The attitude we have towards balloons, we can enjoy with reference to everything in this world. I repeat the last line. The attitude we have towards balloons, we can enjoy with reference to everything in this world. When one has grown out of all the three pursuits, dharma, artha, and kama, it is possible to live one day at a time. When you do not care for tomorrow, you are already a renunciate. For that, you have to be mature. Otherwise, you will feel miserable. To gain that maturity, that inner security, one has to live a life of karma yoga. Then life becomes meaningful. There is no other meaning for bhakti here. This can be the bhakti of a jnani, the fourth type of bhakti, or that of a jignashu, the third type. Because of this reason, Bhagavan says, He knows me, Mam Abhijanati. To gain moksha, the Shastra enjoins a life of sannyasa, which is a life of jnana nishtha. This moksha is not a result of any action, karma phala. It is appreciating the Pratyagatma as Param Brahma. When that recognition is free from any vagueness or doubt, that is what we call Nishtha. We are not trying to improve the status of Pratyagatma. If it undergoes a change, there is something we can do. But if it does not, what are we going to do? Being not subject to any modification, improvement is not possible. But Brahman being what it is not necessary. Previously I was Brahman, now also I am Brahman. It does not and need not undergo any change to become something else. Moksha is nothing but knowing this. Then why do we define the Purushartha as moksha and not knowledge? Nobody is interested in this kind of self-knowledge. One, one may be interested in knowledge of electronics because that is useful. But one will not be interested in self-knowledge unless he recognizes that all pain is centered only on the self. Since he is interested in getting rid of the sense of limitation centered on the self, the interest is only freedom from dukkha. The Purushartha is not jnana but moksha. Even a scientist who is interested in knowledge for its own sake is not really interested in knowledge, but in the joy of discovery and the sense of satisfaction he derives from gaining a better understanding of the laws of the universe. Finally, his pursuit is centered on himself, on his own happiness. Freedom alone is the ultimate end of the jiva, not knowledge. But moksha is in the form of knowledge, and that is where conversion from a mumukshu to a jignashu takes place. A mumukshu can get carried away doing any number of things, from dieting to closing the eyes and looking for varieties of things. If by doing so he thinks that he is going to get moksha, that is very unfortunate. Any of these things may be useful, but they are not going to solve the problem. Only knowledge is moksha because you are already liberated. It is for this knowledge that one takes to a life of sannyasa. Shankara contrasts this to a life meant for karma phala by saying that it is not possible for a person who wants to go to the Western Ocean and a person who wants to go to the Eastern Ocean to travel the same path. They are going in opposite directions. Karma is meant for one who is interested in small ends like heaven, etc. And therefore, his approach, his attitude, his whole commitment is different. The one who is interested in moksha, which is in the form of knowledge, is interested in jnana nishtha. Shankara again defines jnana nishtha as the commitment to the pursuit of knowledge leading to jnana nishtha, abiding knowledge without any obstruction. He uses the word abhinivesha, which means total commitment, like one who is possessed. Under the possession of anything, even anger or greed for power or money, a person finds in himself an extra power. Here it is a complete commitment to the pursuit of knowledge with a passion. There is a consistent flow of contemplation upon Brahman as oneself. Using words like Shuddha, Nitya, Purna, Satya, Jnana, Ananta, which reveal the nature of Brahman, he continuously appreciates that Pratyagatma, the inner self, is identical with Brahman. Very beautiful paragraph. I'll read this once again. Shankara again defines Jnana Nishtha as the commitment to the pursuit of knowledge, leading to Jnana Nishtha, abiding knowledge without any obstruction. He uses the word Abhinivesha, which means total commitment, like one who is possessed. Under the possession of anything, even anger or greed for power or money, a person finds in himself an extra power. Here it is a complete commitment to the pursuit of knowledge with a passion. There is a consistent flow of contemplation upon Brahman as oneself, using words like Shuddha, Nitya, Purna, Satya, Jnana, Ananta, which reveal the nature of Brahman. He continuously appreciates that Pratyagatma, the inner self, is identical with Brahman. That kind of commitment is just the opposite to the pursuit of karma, and therefore it cannot be accompanied by the pursuit of karma. One depends upon an agent and the other dismisses it. So there is no possibility of a synthesis of Jnana Nishtha and Karma Nishtha. They are as different from one another as a mountain and a mustard seed. How can they possibly be confused? A hill can be taken as a mountain, but you can never commit the mistake of taking the mustard seed for a mountain. Such is the difference between Jnana Nishtha and the pursuit of karma. There is so much disparity that it is a contradiction. This is the conclusion of those who know the Shastra. Shankara adds. Jnana Nishtha, therefore, is to be accomplished by the renunciation of all karma, sarva karma sannyasa. It is important to note here that while karma is opposed to jnana, karma yoga is not opposed to jnana because it is meant for preparation of the mind, which is again meant for jnana. Therefore, he is now going to talk about karma yoga in the next shloka and a few others. Shankara's introduction to the next verse. In this chapter, the entire vision of the Gita Shastra is summed up, making it firm and clear. He has already dealt with sannyasa. Now he is going to talk about karma yoga, a life imbued with devotion to the Lord. We have seen that worshipping the Lord by doing one's own duty, a human being gains a certain accomplishment. Swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. By performing one's own duty, in a given place and time, recognizing dharma to be Ishvara, from whom the world has come and by whom it is pervaded, he gains success. Siddhi. What is that Siddhi? Shankara says that it is the eligibility to gain Jnana Nishtha. Because of Karma Yoga, the Antakarana is prepared and thereby he gains Jnana and then Jnana Nishtha. That means that if repeated contemplation, etc., is a necessity, one cannot circumvent it. If the mind is prepared, Jnana does not take any time, and that Jnana has its culmination in liberation. The Karma Yoga that prepares the mind for this Jnana is being praised now to make the vision clear and firm. So beautiful.
How nicely, step by step, he's taking us there. So good.
Yes.
Really wonderful.
Jnana is a moksha. So how the Jnana and Jnana Nishtha comes and how Jnana becomes liberation, no?
Hmm.
Jai Gurudev Bela, can you just read the last paragraph where he talks of introduction to the next word?
Yeah. Shankara's introduction to the next verse. In this chapter, the entire vision of the Gita Shastra is summed up, making it firm and clear. He has already dealt with sannyasa. Now he is going to talk about karma yoga, a life imbued with devotion to the Lord. We have seen that worshipping the Lord by doing one's own duty, a human being gains a certain accomplishment. Swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. By performing one's own duty in a given place and time, recognizing dharma to be Ishvara, from whom the world has come and by whom it is pervaded, he gains success. Siddhi. What is that Siddhi? Shankara says that it is the eligibility to gain Jnana Nishtha. Because of Karma Yoga, the Antakarana is prepared and thereby he gains Jnana and then Jnana Nishtha. That means that if repeated contemplation, etc., is a necessity, one cannot circumvent it. If the mind is prepared, Jnana does not take any time, and that Jnana has its culmination in liberation. The Karma Yoga that prepares the mind for this Jnana is being praised now to make the vision clear and firm.
Most important is the contemplation, meditation, going into the silence. All this karma yoga should lead to that. And when you are established in that silence, automatic everything, that is a Jnana Nishtha.
So that swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. That one line should guide us to recognizing Ishvara in each of our duties and worshipping, doing our duty as a karma yogi is akin to worshipping Ishvara. And then we attain siddhi. And what is that siddhi? Is an eligibility for jnana nishta. And then repeated contemplation is a necessity. One cannot circumvent it. There is no shortcut to this. At the same time, if a mind is prepared, it does not take any time for knowledge to happen.
Yeah,
So the whole sadhana is in weeding out the weeds and cleaning up our house, inner house. That antakarana, and keeping it still, both keeping it clean and keeping it still.
meditation.
Otherwise, if you've kept it clean, it is like a lake which is clean, but the reflection of the moon, if the lake is turbulent, is like shake. There are some waves on the lake and it is not still. The reflection of the moon is also shaky, which is how our knowledge with obstructions is. You don't get a clear clarity, no certainty of the knowledge. But when all the doubts are cleared by doing regular manana, nididhyasana, vichara, then that's free from obstructions. And then that jnana attains that certainty and that stability, which is what jnana nishta is. And for that, we will have to keep coming back again and again. No two things about it. Punah punaha shravanam mananam nididhyasanam kuryat. And like it was rightly pointed out by Savitaji, compared to 2 years ago to now, there is certainly a big difference in our understanding of the Gita. It still requires maybe more refinement. There are still doubts cropping up, which is natural, because we still have that those old association because of our childhood, how we have been, how the child in us is the one that brings up all these, the obstructions, the shobhana dhyasa that we have. So that is fine. I mean, that in kramena, even that will go. Yes. Anybody else who wants to share, please go ahead. Or we can continue to the next verse.
Anyone wants to share?
When
And
the yoga is happening, means we are the karma yogi, so that time shravana manana may be out of our reach because we are so much involved in the materialistic world. So I want to know the steps like manana, nididhyasana, sannyasa in a worldly life. Means within karma yoga also we have a sannyasa.
No, that is what that written, no? There, any karma you do it as if you are
Huh.
doing it for the
What?
divine.
Divine.
Even when you walk,
Surrender everything.
it is pradakshana to the divine. Like that, Anything, any work, you have to say that it is to the divine. With that attitude, that is the Karma Yoga attitude, prasada.
Okay.
Basically, our way of thinking has to change, because we have been over the lifetimes used to thinking in a particular fashion. Everything is centered on the small I. Now that change, the way of thinking has to change. It has to become more prayerful.
Correct.
Everything, whatever I do, everything around me is nothing but Ishvara. Dharma is Ishvara. My duty is Ishvara.
That
Basically, converting your life into a life of jnana. Yajna. Everything has to be done with that yajna bhava.
While meditating also, we get some obstructions like I have to do this, I have to do that. Small things, very, very small thing. Think that also is divine only. Convert that also in the divine while meditating also. Then your mind becomes still and contemplative. That meditation is 100%. It will become 100%. The whatever you do now, that is the meditation is only the end product. That then you are absorbed into it, then automatic everything. So we have to practice this sahaja samadhi, whatever it is. The meditation, daily meditation is a must now. We have learned, we have gone through so many times, but the practical, I have come to conclusion myself now. The the most luckiest person is when he goes into the meditation automatically. That is the end product. That is jnana nishta. Automatic it comes. Because we have the knowledge, only a little obstructions are there. That will be removed by practicing the meditation. That is the ultimate. I have seen many now. Your attitude for work, your attitude to the worldliness and all of the things that has to come with it. But once you go into the meditation, regularly, not that is the commitment we should make it for ourselves. Other thing can stop. Automatic, everything will fall in. But for that, still we have to be prepared ourselves with Karma Yoga. That attitude of whatever we do is done for the divine. Even while we eating, it is the prasada. That body consciousness has to go. When you are in meditation, the body conscious will go. That is the ultimate meditation you will have. Slowly, it will. We have to increase that meditation. And whenever we need, we have to be in that contemplative. as Guruji, whenever he sits, it just goes into the samadhi. And whenever he comes out of the samadhi, whatever he speaks is the divine speaking. So we have to increase that meditative power of ours.
What I was thinking was like, whatever act you do, whatever action you are doing, if you are doing it with 100% like focus and awareness, then basically every activity becomes a meditative. Even painting something or doing any mechanical work, if you are engrossed in it totally, and doesn't it give you calmness and that peace of mind? So that thoughtlessness which happens is that which when we are doing some work and we do it with that 100% focus and concentration, only thinking about that what we are doing, it also it's just like
but again
meditation.
you are doing there. See, in the last paragraph, can we do?
No.
Go down.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but it is only one of the
here,
point
here. Point. Okay, that is there.
Meditation can be like, meditation it is just thoughtlessness. No thoughts
No,
are
you
there.
can go down little, madam. That last paragraph are there. See, jnana nishtha, therefore, is to be accomplished by the renunciation of all the karmas. Sarva karma sannyasa. It is important. That is what we have to come up to. That is the ultimate. What we are telling is the intermediate. It is important to note here that while karma is opposed to the jnana, karma yoga is not opposed to jnana because it is meant for preparation of the mind, which
But
is
at the
again
same
meant
time,
for jnana.
Suresh ji, when what you're saying is completely right, but an unprepared mind,
No,
which
I am
is
telling that
takes
is
to
what
meditation,
intermediate. I am
yeah,
talking
that
about
will,
the ultimate.
yeah. So I think what Savita ji is trying to mention here is the preparedness, the steps towards
Preparedness.
that. Yeah.
I am
So
talking about the
please
ultimate.
continue, Savita. Yeah. Savita ji, continue.
Okay, thank you.
It was like, the sitting in a meditation, when you daily sit in a meditation, all the activities of the one day before, which has happened one day before, the thoughts do come. Yeah. And it is but when you sit, the three rules that I am nothing, I want nothing, I do nothing, you sit with that thought. No, so thoughts come for a short period of time, then they do not come. Like you, then
That is
you
what
are
the
engrossed.
meditation is.
Yeah, you are engrossed in your
Engrossed. We have to increase that
that,
meditation more.
but that will only increase when that antakarna is purified
Clean.
completely. Only then that state
Yeah,
will
I'm
come that
talking that.
you are sitting
So
and you are going into meditation.
we
You
have to
don't
aim to
require
that. That is
any
what I'm talking.
yoga practice for it. Yeah.
No, I'm
So that,
talking. We have to aim to that.
yeah, that is the aim. Of
No,
course, that is the aim. But
Ah.
it needs lot of discipline in
Preparation.
ahar, vihar, everything, like what the Patanjali Yoga Sutra says. So,
Everything, yes.
yeah. So meditation will automatically happen if you are taking care of other things in your day-to-day activities. Even I was thinking about the value structure. the value structure which we make for ourselves is according to our own comforts, no? What value structure we make, we make it according to our convenience and our raga dvesha. But what value structure it should be as according to the dharma. So to follow that value structure, again, you need a lot of effort and energy, both. So it is so hard. Yes, but that abhyasa, with abhyasa, we can reach
No,
as
and
everyone.
that 100% longingness to become that.
Yeah, that longing inside, that longing.
That is more important. So we should know the goal and long for that. And with that, this all will come. Otherwise, we'll be like that only, half-hearted.
There was a sentence.
That
He may
is.
do a diet, or some sentences were there.
Yeah, but that
So
doesn't
that will
help.
not help. That will not help.
Help. This the end product of becoming renunciation of karma, that longing we should have. It will not come easy, but that commitment for that has to be there. Unless we commit for that, this doing the karma will not come, will not go. So we that sentence, jnana nishta will come only by renunciation of all the karma. And we have to long for that. And unless we long for that, we will not achieve it. Oh, it may come later on, we'll be doing like this only. It will not. So we have to have that commitment, that longing. Ultimately, that also has to go, Guruji says, but that longing to have that. So meditation is the only thing that can help us in this. And we have to aim for that. Otherwise, we'll be again, okay, we'll all do dieting, we'll do all karma, sadhana, this, that attitude, okay. But we'll not reach there. Jnana nishta. That 100% commitment. And that is very, very difficult. That is very, very, very difficult. Life of sannyasa, that is. Being in samsara, achieving that will be the greatest siddhi. We have to make it. And for that, grace of Guruji and grace of everything is needed. And your commitment for that. As we are committed now to take the knowledge, we have the knowledge. But we have to imbibe it. And commitment for that imbibe is needed. 100%. So those sentences are very, very, very powerful. Otherwise, we'll be still in the preparation only. Oh, it will happen one day. It will happen one day. No. Sorry, but it's more idealistic. Okay, we will be continuing in this. And we are doing very, very good job. I'm not discouraging it. But that commitment to the highest, that meditative life has to come. Oh, tomorrow we'll do meditation. No. Today we'll, okay. Anyhow, I am doing sadhana, this, okay. But that meditation, sitting in there, committed completely for that, is a must. I am trying many days now, since many days, but it's not happening still. Whenever I make some, just when I start, something will happen again.
Obstruction, huh, sir?
Obstructions. For that, all this again we need. But we have to see the goal and act accordingly to our own vasanas. We know now everything. We know what we are doing. But the highest is only the samadhi. And that has to happen. Like Guruji, when he sits in satsang, he goes into samadhi. Wherever he sits there, he goes into samadhi. Again, comes up very fresh, as if it is new, nitya, satya. Oh, so wonderful. He looks every day, every moment afresh. To achieve that, what we have to do ourselves, we have to sit together, sit ourselves, not together. We are doing what we are now doing together is a very, very good thing. But everyone, to reach that, what we have to do, we have to analyze ourselves. What mistakes we are doing, or what is coming obstruction. TV, match, cricket match, that, this, so many things come. So we should know the highest goal. That sentence is really very, very jnana nishtha. Very important. He says, no, the karma is different and the jnana is different. It is West Coast and East Coast. Karma yoga is the preparation to come up to the West or jnana, and to remain in jnana, the most luckiest person is the person who can meditate anywhere in any situation. That Vijnana Bhairava, even in waiting, even in train waiting, late train has come late, we'll be just wondering what. Even in that, if you could be in meditative position, that is what we have to achieve. Everywhere, he says, no, you go anywhere, bus stop, place, waiting, that waiting period only has to be your samadhi. And that we have to achieve, but how we will achieve, we cannot know. But at least we should know that should be the goal. Thank you. Sorry. I'm analyzing this thing since long time and I'm not getting it still. And it's very tough. But with the grace of Guruji, there's so many things, so satsang, what we are doing.
Such a valuable sharing. Thank you, Sureshji. Such a valuable sharing. Thank you so much.
No, because otherwise we'll be, sometime it will happen, sometime it will happen, sometime no. That longing has to come now and we have to aim at it. Because every day we'll be aging.
Thus, this thought will not bind us again for that. Will it not be the craving?
Yeah, we are coming near to that. But when? Now. Jai Guru. Jai Guru. that amanitvam, adambitvam, Guruji did not see me, amanitvam. You see, even that also is very adambitvam. Oh, Guruji saw me. He gave me this prasada. That is adamba again. So this verse, that very, very beautiful verse, the last verse, he gives the steps, wonderfully steps. And we will proceed, we'll help, we'll do. I'm not discouraging, sorry, but we should have that goal. Otherwise, we'll be still piecing and checking.
Where is Dr. Mara? Is she well? If anyone knows? She's all fine?
Actually, we can put it on the group. We can ask. She said she had.
Now, Shankara is telling how to achieve this. You see? Good. Nice.
Dr. Mara is actually on a trip. She's on a trip to Europe. So she said she would not be able to join in for a few weeks. She's doing fine. She's doing otherwise well.
Okay, I was just remembering her from few days. Yeah.
Even Mrinalji, we are missing. Is she there?
Yeah, Rinal is also away in the US. So maybe it's the time factor that is affecting her. So what basically is we have to pray for, this is from my side, is that we have to pray for being given the correct way of thinking, the right way of thinking. So once the way of thinking is set right in our mind, then automatically this karma yoga sets in, the prayerful attitude comes in, and then that inner cleaning happens, which is so important. Because otherwise, in some shloka, I think in the fifth chapter, Krishna says, you cannot take to sannyasa just like that. It does not happen. One has to go through a life of karma yoga. And then, I think the next paragraph says, even a karma yogi can get jnana nishta. You don't need to transition to becoming a sannyasi. Sannyasa there is only through jnana. Jnanena karma sannyasa. So, for me, from the standpoint of where I am, it is being a pakka karma yogi is what the most important sadhana is. Because once you are ridding your raga dveshas and all that, of course your sadhana is important, your kriya, meditation, they're very important. But without working on your raga dveshas, you sit at the seat of meditation, you are only going to go round and round in those circles. So they're all complement each other. I'm not saying only one is important or the other is not important. Both have to go hand in hand. You cannot not live a life of karma yoga and only practice meditation. That is not taking us anywhere. Neither would you just stay with doing karma yoga. You're, of course, practicing, living life as a karma yogi with that proper attitude. At the same time, you're also pursuing knowledge. And you're doing this. It is not just doing karma. See, karma nishta versus jnana nishta was, I think, talked of earlier today. So just by doing karma, no amount of karma is going to be liberating. But an attitude of a karma yogi is a big difference. I think that is what the next paragraph will take us to. Maybe, Bela, you're able to continue? Or do you want one of us to take on?
Yeah, if somebody can take over, it is fine. Otherwise, if it is difficult, then I can continue.
Yeah. Is anybody volunteering to take up for the next 10 minutes?
I'll continue, Brahmaraji, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might take me a few minutes. Otherwise, Bela, if you need, if it's important, I can go up and take it up.
Okay, Brahmaraji. Yeah. सर्वकर्माण्यपि सदा कुर्वाणो मद्व्यपाश्रयः मत्प्रसादादवाप्नोति शाश्वतं पदमव्ययम्. Sarvakarmani api, all actions, sada kurvanah, the one who is always doing. Madhyapashrayah, the one whose basis for all actions and results is me. I repeat, Madhyapashrayah, the one whose basis for all actions and results is me. Mat prasadat, because of my grace. Shashvatam, eternal. Avyayam, imperishable. Padam and avapnoti, gains. Sarvakarmani api sada kurvanah madvyapashrayah matprasadat shashvatam avyayam padam avapnoti. The one who is always doing all proper actions, whose basis for all actions and results is myself, gains the end, which is eternal and imperishable because of my grace. I repeat, the one who is always doing all proper actions, whose basis for all actions and results is myself, gains the end, which is eternal and imperishable because of my grace. Karma Yogi also gains Jnana Nishtha. Here he shows that the Karma Yogi reaches the same end as the one who is committed purely to Jnana and Jnana Nishtha. This is because a life of Jnana Nishtha, which entails renunciation of all other activities, will not be fruitful unless one has lived a life of prayer and prayerful activity. Krishna has said previously, but renunciation is difficult to accomplish, Arjuna, for the one who has not lived a life of karma yoga. Sannyasah tu mahabaho dukkham aptum ayogatah. Living a life of renunciation is easier said than done. One must have a contemplative mind, which is acquired only as one goes through one's life. The same thing is said here. I repeat this paragraph, very important, as Brahmaraji had just now beautifully summarized. Karma Yogi also gains Jnana Nishtha. Here he shows that the karma yogi reaches the same end as the one who is committed purely to jnana and jnana nishtha. This is because a life of jnana nishtha, which entails renunciation of all other activities, will not be fruitful unless one has lived a life of prayer and prayerful activity. Krishna has said previously, but renunciation is difficult to accomplish, Arjuna, for the one who has not lived a life of karma yoga. Sannyasah tu mahabaho dukkham aptum ayogatah. Living a life of renunciation is easier said than done. One must have a contemplative mind, which is acquired only as one goes through one's life. The same thing is said here. Shankara says that the use of the word api also, along with the word sarva karmani, all actions, indicates not only the actions that are to be done, vihita karmas, but also those that are not to be done, pratisiddha karmas. Here it seems as though a karma yogi can do prohibited actions too. That is not the meaning of this statement of Shankara. It means two things here. Firstly, what is right and wrong is relative. What is wrong may be right when the circumstances change. Therefore, sometimes what is generally considered to be wrong may be unavoidable. In these situations, a karma yogi takes it as a part of Ishvara's order, and being committed to Ishvara does that action and does not incur papa. Secondly, sometimes an action like a small hurt to some beings, like stamping an ant, etc., is done unknowingly. Even then, this karma yogi who does all actions being madhyapashraya, that is, being totally dedicated to Ishvara, does not incur papa. He gains that ultimate end due to the grace of Ishvara. Even a simple ethical person who has nothing to do with the Lord or religion does this. He lives a clean, legal, and ethical life, doing all that is to be done and not doing anything that is not to be done. I say both legal and ethical because even though you are clean legally, ethically, you need not be. The legal code is such that you can interpret it into your own advantage, even when you have transgressed the moral law. Conversely, ethically, you may be right, but not legally. This is a big problem in the United States, where it is so easy to file a malpractice suit against a doctor. If a doctor is passing the scene of an accident, he is ethically bound to stop and give medical aid. But if anything goes wrong, he can be sued. Certain actions which are ethical become illegal. But here is a person who is living both a legal and an ethical life. He is pragmatic, but he has nothing to do with religion or Ishvara. Such a person is not a karma yogi, and his lifestyle cannot be called karma yoga. It becomes karma yoga only when you recognize Ishvara as the one who gives the results of all actions, karma phaladata, and the one who is the very law of dharma. I am saying this because there is so much confusion about karma yoga. It has come to be known as skill in action. By that definition, Even an expert pickpocket becomes a karma yogi. All over the world, this is a big misconception about karma yoga, which has no support from the Gita at all. I think I read once again. Shankara says that the use of the word api also, along with the word sarva karmani, all actions, indicates not only the actions that are to be done, vihita karmas, but also those that are not to be done, pratisiddha karmas. Here it seems as though a karma yogi can do prohibited actions too. That is not the meaning of this statement of Shankara. It means two things here. Firstly, what is right and wrong is relative. What is wrong may be right when the circumstances change. Therefore, sometimes what is generally considered to be wrong may be unavoidable. In these situations, a karma yogi takes it as a part of Ishvara's order, and being committed to Ishvara does that action and does not incur papa. Secondly, sometimes an action like a small hurt to some beings, like stamping an ant, etc., is done unknowingly. Even then, this karma yogi who does all actions being madhyapashraya, that is, being totally dedicated to Ishvara, does not incur papa. He gains that ultimate end due to the grace of Ishvara. Even a simple ethical person who has nothing to do with the Lord or religion does this. He lives a clean, legal, and ethical life, doing all that is to be done and not doing anything that is not to be done. I say both legal and ethical because even though you are clean legally, ethically, you need not be. The legal code is such that you can interpret it to your advantage even when you have transgressed the moral law. Conversely, ethically, you may be right, but not legally. This is a big problem in the United States, where it is so easy to file a malpractice suit against a doctor. If a doctor is passing the scene of an accident, he is ethically bound to stop and give medical aid. But if anything goes wrong, he can be sued. Certain actions which are ethical become illegal. But here is a person who is living both a legal and an ethical life. He is pragmatic, but he has nothing to do with religion or Ishvara. Such a person is not a karma yogi, and his lifestyle cannot be called karma yoga. It becomes karma yoga only when you recognize Ishvara as the one who gives the results of all actions, karma phaladata, and the one who is the very law of dharma. I am saying this because there is so much confusion about karma yoga. It has come to be known as skill in action. By that definition, even an expert pickpocket becomes a karma yogi. All over the world, this is a big misconception about karma yoga, which has no support from the Gita at all. I think we can do Manana tomorrow. Brahmaraji, I can stop here.
Yeah, we'll stop here, Bela. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
निरुपमनित्यनिरंशकेऽप्यखण्डे मयि चिति सर्वविकल्पनादिशून्ये घटयति जगदीश जीवभेदम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया श्रुतिशतनिगमान्तशोधकानपि अहह धनादिनिदर्शनेन सद्यः कलुषयति चतुष्पदाद्यभिन्ना न घटितघटना पडीयसी माया सुखचिदखण्डविबोधमद्वितीयम् वियदनलादिविनिर्मित्ते नियोज्य भ्रमयति भवसागरे नितान्तम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया अपगतगुणवर्णजातिभेदे सुखचितिविप्रविडाद्यहङ्कृतिं च स्फुटयति सुतदारकेहमोहम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया विधिहरिहरविभेदमप्यखण्डे बत विरचय्य बुधानपि प्रकामम् भ्रमयति हरिहरविभेदभावान् घटितघटना पडीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पडीयसी माया